My name is Michael McNamara, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Vincent Ferrini Centenary Gala and Poets Cabaret.
And I'm Linda Robinson, and welcome to all you wonderful people for coming out here tonight to support the Gloucester Writers Center and to honor what would have been Vincent Ferrini's 100th birthday.
So now, without further ado,
Happy
birthday, Vincent!
The dancing dream is always conspiring. The synchronies of visible mindings who love you and your embodiment, a wind-born priestess. In separate worlds, acutely alone, each of us making two fours, the dream itself, initiating tales of many ones.
Vincent wrote a poem to my son Max when he was 4 years of age, and it really captured his energy and enthusiasm. It had a lot of movement. It's really quite an exciting piece.
Yeah, and a language all its own. The poem to Max is called Kid Greased Lightning, but we like to call it Goomba Zoomba.
Zumba, Goomba, Zumba. Give me so red, green and gold red. Goomba, Zumba. On his nose, the angel rose. Goomba, Zumba.
Some of Vincent's most beautiful poems were written for some of Cape Ann's most beautiful souls. These are for some friends who are now part of the eternal community.
This is for Annie Weld Bell, the nightingale of the exquisite. Idling on the topmost branch of the tree of transformations, fondling each leaf of differences, mingling and solitaire. The timing of her awareness, listening to the other, embodying the sensations of the uninterrupted. The keen children of the archives of memory following her flight of nearness, embracing the seas of the holy air each person is. How gently the wind took the mute wisdom of her approachings. Strange how altogether this life is. O paragon of instant love, the leave-takings and arrivals as close as we are to where she is. In this entrancing energy, the divinity, surpassing continuity and discontinuity.
This poem was written for Peggy Sibley. Mother of the sea's insight. Our harbor's arms. They say you are dead, Peggy. What a misconception. You knew when you were dancing at the cliff that you were already jumping into liberties that never end. Delighting at the very edge was a news to behold, as most of your children did, and all your dearest friends. Now the looking can do what you did, intoxicated with life and its problems, way ahead at this island of lighthouses, flashing rays, flourishing in it as you did, still doing. Riding your bicycle around the rim of the moon, dipping your toes into the sun's fire of enthusiasm for all things, enjoying it fully. Because this is a continuous circle of metamorphoses. We gloried in the lust for this extraordinary theater, which is always continuous. We never go to sleep, do we, Peggy? We're so busy infusing everyone we know with our blood mind's contagion, making love and children, singing the pleasures of community we have yet to thoroughly deepen our city with. Oh, fisher woman, the minnows in our veins are swimming backward and fast forward, relaxed, because you, beloved soul, are still alive as everyone here. Getting closer to our navigating heart, you, Peggy, are in no time and space, because there are no demarcations, no breaks, no disappearances. It is the rhythm of interdimensionals we have yet to stimulate. Oh, heroine hero, what consummate style. How you took on the whole city into your embrace. Nothing less. As it was then, so is it now. Your buoy tolling statements, the penetrations of your eyelight is in the heads of those who know you, even the ones on the sidelines. Oh, how you injected our city with that something that is always hiding, that verve that is a transformer, transmuting the routine into acts of daily discoveries by being who each one is as you are still. What a family this is. What realized individuals. Death is a misnomer for the processes of uninterrupted divinities, as you, with your hands on our compass of the constant creation's bliss of this.
Vincent wrote to Annie Thomas, "Go with it. Think not of tomorrow. Today is all you'll ever have, and it is eternal. You are already there, here."
There was a period during the 1970s when he was buying different automobiles. He always had breakdowns of his cars, so he was always buying cheap cars. And he had a friend, David Bianchini, who always helped him get cars, and then sometimes would buy the cars for him. And so David and he went out and they researched cars, and they finally got it down to 3 automobiles. Now, number 1 was a very small but practical, fuel-efficient little car, but it was a junker. Number 2 was a little bit bigger, safer automobile, but a gas guzzler, also a junker. And number 3 was a Carmen Ghia. I don't know if any of you probably remember a Carmen Ghia. And Carmen Ghias were little Volkswagen sports cars. And this car was also a junker. So they had a lot of information that they had to process, which was going to be the most useful for Vincent, the most practical. And so finally, Vincent was hemming and hawing, and he just couldn't seem to make a decision. And David's here, he'll tell you later on. He'd never seen Ferrini so indecisive. Finally, he just put it to him, right to him. He said, "Vincent, which one's it going to be? You have to make a decision." And Ferrini turned to him and said, "Which one makes me look sexy?"
His fantasies were so strong that sometimes it feels like they're really happening. And one day, it was really happening.
Yeah? Well, wait a
You
minute.
wanna see it in action?
Is it X-rated?
It's Ferrini rated.
Even better!
Roll the reel, please.
All the men will have their fantasies realized like I am right now. The whole world would change. I got a volume that hasn't been published yet. It is the best of my work. It's called The Wand of Eros. A lot of you women are in it.
A fantasy that he had, that he always talked about, was his interest in what he called the sandwich, which was a menage a trois, which was 2 soft loaves of bread and a big Italian salami right in the middle. Whether it ever happened, we'll never know. But, of course, he wasn't one to kiss and tell. And he did call himself El Cazzo. So you never know. He was always working on it.
Speaking of menage a trois, let's read from The Other Cheek.
Have you heard the latest joke making the rounds? The souls of 3 newly dead nuns approached Mary Magdalene, the new keeper at the gates of heaven, and granted each of them one wish. The first nun.
I'm itching for Clark Gable, Miss Magdalene.
He's at his palace boudoir waiting for you. The second nun.
I'm hot for Burt Reynolds.
When he dies, you will be at the head of the line. The third nun.
I want to sleep with Ferrini.
Ferrini? Who the hell is Ferrini?
Well, where I come from, all the women were saying, fuck Ferrini.
We switch partners daily. We do as we please. But nothing is strange. I'm sleeping on the night. But it's woman, I'm gonna make you snap by tonight.
Flesh had more than one way for Vincent. Here's another.
Thunderheads are in the distance. The underleaves know and won't tell. And all of this is you. There's a self in my heart I locked up. And threw the key at mid-ocean. And you come from this, lost to the sun sand, with that key in your heart. Yeah,
you see God and you find God where you want to find him. You get it? God is an activity. And an activity could be in anything. Digging a ditch, playing baseball, playing tennis, dancing, making love. When you lose yourself in any activity, that's God.
Psalm. Enter the only real and indivisible yourself. Be my pillar. I am yours. We are concrete poems.
When I'm talking, you get the sense that this fucking guy's dancing here? See? So if I'm talking and giving you an impression, it's still on? If I'm giving you an impression of myself, and you get the sense of this guy dancing, he's not concerned with the opposite. He's not concerned with anything. All he's doing is dancing. See, when you dance, you forget everything. When you're making love, you forget everything. If you forget everything when you're enjoying yourself, that's the state the world is in. It's got to do with fame or fortune or money. It's got to do with nothing except the state of being. That high place that all these kids are taking crack to get at. And they go out killing for money to buy things. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's mad. But that's the way our society is created. Don't forget, I'm not a part. I'm not in this game. I'm outside. I'm by myself. My values are different. Because I got one life and I'm going to live it to the hilt, according to how I feel about what I experience. And if my sense of unity is within me, that's where I stay at.
All's child's. Because you are the blooming secret of song, and I see the sound of it and the sapling tree among the birches, wrestling the wind, and the true word of the creek. And what the full moon sang, singing the leaves, our names, our egos and echoes of. How love's big current has all these curlicues. Who of us touches all at once? If this is what it is for, then all the cares are delightful, as the surprise we are partners to. A guest of the black box we conceal and furtively give away, the same note wherein divertimentos bask. It could be the personal is now common, and we are the hide and seek of being and becoming.
Joy,
maker
and crown of all estates,
as any forest knows.
I think I am an instrument of the divine intelligence.
I think I'm becoming an incredible dancer.
I'm a friend of Veronica. I'm a friend of Magdalene. I'm a friend of the Virgin. I'm a friend of JC. They're all my brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters. And that's part of the sea of life, sea of life, sea of life, life.
Wasn't always a cakewalk either. He knew how to push your buttons, and he knew how to push them all at the same time. But then, on the other hand...
This is a poem Vincent wrote for my husband, Michael McNamara. The Granite Truth. My allegiance and love for you has not changed a whit or what or why. Whatever you have to do and when is my pleasure also. I'm as native as you are to the whole truth, and the aim steadfast, nothing interfering with the forging of our centers. There is no other who can come in between my dream of you as the alchemists we are for. Aha! The unity air lives for here and yonder. There is no cloud, no stain, no doubt, no hidden agenda. The night and the day are heavens.
I love that girl. I don't care who knows it. Yes, the night and day are heaven, unless Vincent was cooking for you. I mean, the man simply could not fry water. When you would go to his house, he'd always ask you, would you like a cup of tea, Mackie? And I would always, yeah, sure, I'll have a cup of tea. And he'd put the tea on. He'd go into his little kitchen. He had a little 4-burner stove. And he put on a little pan of water, and he dropped the tea bag into the little pan. And 15, 20 minutes would go by. And I'd say, is that, it was boiling for 15 to 20 minutes. And I'd say, is that tea ready yet? And he'd say, no, it's not ready yet. And finally, the tea bag burst. Everything just, it was just boiled. It was unbelievable. When he served that so proudly, But it was great. But he was not a cook. And everybody was always trying to guide him, to help him, so he could be so he could go out to the grocery store. He was embarrassed to go to the grocery store. So, because he came from a different time. Leading to...
So it was suggested that he should try a diet of beans, a little rice, but a lot of beans.
Yes.
This is the poem that came out of that experience.
It's
called The Gas Poem.
My friends informed me that the poor of Central and South America survive on beans and rice, and that I could do the same. Well, that staple has been my diet, till it finally sidetracked the poet. Boy, oh boy, did the farting make itself known in unexpected places. Thundering in a rural or broadcasting the news. Bean star flares scrape my bones, kicking me out of an exploratory dream, and wide-eyed, still at me, taking no chances. I call the fire department. Their ambulance unobtrusively sneaks me into the castle of healing. Immediately, the wise and lovely nurses strap and strip me of blood and hook me to a metal tree. They book me and add me to their dark archive.
Do you have your own teeth?
Well, of course.
Well, many don't. You are blessed.
Blood from my wrists, my arms, and my laughter each day, morning and night.
Hey, that's typo. Poet's blood. Igor!
They lace me to the heart machine.
Don't move a finger or toe. Don't even blink.
The castle doctor's verdict, an Indian guru on the graveyard shift.
You have unsettled angina.
I hear uncharted vagina? My psyche's exposed and vulnerable. I regale the nurses and a day doctor with tales of cherries for gout, copulation for bad backs, spinal creaks, and stiffness, Bernie Siegel's recipe for the lost and the bewildered, and for short encores, epitaphs from the cemetery peeking in the castle.
The body is a battlefield of undigested experiences. One protein bean is enough. Many shapes and shades are a tribal wind song in the unseen jungle.
What a lesson this humble being has given me.
Came to Gloucester, January 18th, 1948, in a snowstorm.
Why'd you come in?
Came in with the family.
Why?
I came here
Yeah.
because one night I visited this man who was a painter. And he lived on East Main Street. And I visited him in the dead of winter too, the year before. I said, "What do you do?" He says, "Oh, I live in East Gloucester and I paint pictures." He says, "Come to visit me." I went to visit him. This was, the time must have been deep snow, ice all over the place there, and I fell in love with it at night. And I told my wife then that we're going to move to Gloucester. She says, "Sure, we'll move to Gloucester." She knew about it. She had been here before I had been. So we decided to move. So we looked all over for a place. I found a place on Liberty Street, 3 Liberty Street. That 3 keeps cropping up in my life all the time.
What was it in that snowstorm that you saw that made you want to be here? Can you describe
Place of
it?
isolation. It was closed in. It was like a, well, like a bird resting, and I could feel its beat all by itself. But then it was night too, and I looked at the shape of the streets and the houses, and I got a feeling that it was a small place, and just like the sense of it. I don't know what it was, but I was as though some invisible angel came and stuck a needle in me. I felt something. My whole system changed. I said, I gotta come here. I got work to do here.
Time is in the guns, he said. Time is in the guns, he said. Time is in the guns, he said. You're 30 years ahead of me. How many pounds of poetry? I'm a lover, I'm a dancer, I'm a musician, I'm a poet. And the best thing is, I do it all at the same time. Vincent Ferrini, Vincent Ferrini, Vincent Ferrini, Vincent I'm a dancer, I'm a musician, I'm a poet, and the best thing is, I do them all at the same time. said, Goomba, Zoomba, Goomba, Zoomba. Cereal, some boom, boom, yeah, 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 yeah. Vincent Ferrini, Vincent Ferrini, incredible dancer. He's part of my act now. This is from Vincent Ferrini's greatest hits. This is called Life is the Poem. What cannot be taken away? The temple outside me, in me, I am inside. What cannot be taken away? The temple outside me, in me, in me, I am inside. Life is the poem, you can do it. Life is the poem, come on. Life is the poem, let's hear it. Life is the poem, Vincent said. Life is the poem. What'd he say? What'd he say? Life is the poem, come on, come on. Is the poem. Life is the poem, yeah. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Cannot be taken away. The temple outside me, in me, I am inside. What cannot be taken away? The temple outside me, in me. I am inside. I am inside. Here we go again. You can do it, people. Woo! 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 Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Come on. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Come on. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Life is the poem. Yeah. Life is the poem. 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 Life, I don't hear ya. Life is the poem. I can't hear ya. Is the poem. Come on. Life is for Vincent. Life is the poem. 100 more times. Is the poem. Life 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 is the poem. That's right, Joe. Life is the poem. 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 Life is the poem.
Truth to tell, I am more than a teeny weeny bit jealous of fellas like Vincent Ferrini. That's because he attracts such spectacular acts as these were, some quite obscene.